What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James Shue blowing up my eardrum.
.com, and we are here to talk about a movie I've never heard of, Eighth Grade
by Bo Burnham. And though Shue might not know Bo Burnham, I'm sure a lot of you out there do. He's a very, very famous stand-up comedian. He was big on Vine. Got his start making parody songs on YouTube. Quickly found a lot of fans on the internet. Got really big on Vine, and was the youngest person ever to get a comedy special on Comedy Central. 18 years old.
What's wrong with me? I'm 36.
This cat took over YouTube, took over Vine, got a comedy special.
Amazing.
I think has 4 right now under Netflix.
That's amazing.
And right now released his first written and directed film.
Eighth Grade.
And what's so funny is that if you know Bo Burnham and his style of comedy, which as far as stand-up wise is I'm not necessarily my cup of tea. I think he's okay, but not like one of my favorites as far as stand-up. He hits you with this very, very like dramatic, moving movie. Like, this was a movie that I expected to laugh a lot more in that I didn't, but man, it was really good, especially for a directorial debut. I mean, a screenwriting debut. The guy who sings really goofy songs about, you know, God and, you know, flatulence and all these very silly things to write this really like touching movie about this girl in 8th grade who's just kind of dealing with life and going through the awkwardness that is middle school. Was just kind of surprising. I mean, did you like middle school? Middle school is my least favorite of the 3 levels.
Yeah, I loved high school.
I did too.
And then
middle school
elementary was
I mean, elementary you're just kind of kids.
School. Yeah, bro. To be
but like, I
honest
mean,
with
like just in general. I mean, you're a likable guy, right? A lot
no,
of people follow you.
No. I was picked on a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
You might really connect to this movie.
No, because there was like bullies and stuff.
Yeah, man. People. Well, if
Ralph Wallace.
Dang.
I hope he watches it. I hope somehow you see this video. You always bullied me, bro, and I was not a fan of you.
You should be.
I was not a fan
of
him.
yourself.
5th grade.
May no one pick on your kids, you know. Anyway, but like,
that
yeah,
really
like,
is his name,
everyone knows. Well, you know, what's up, Rob Walls?
Yeah.
You know, if anyone like has been to middle school, like everyone knows just the awkwardness of it, and the perfect way to describe this movie and the feeling it gives you, it feels like you're at an 8th grade dance. Like, it's awkward, and the way the characters interact make you feel like just kind of like, oh man, like I'm so glad I'm not there in my life anymore. But it's so, you know, I think why this movie works so well is because it feels authentic. First thing is, you have kids in this movie. You really have, you know, preteen, teenage kids playing these roles. You don't have 20-year-olds saying they're 17 and 16 and stuff like that, which we've seen lately. And while there's been a lot of good, and especially female coming-of-age stories. We had The Edge of 17,
that's good,
which was great. Lady Bird, also phenomenal. Both very different. This one is a mix of the two. I think it's very artsy in a lot of ways and tries to be kind of very intense. There's some really dark moments in this movie. I think there's funny moments, but not like so much laugh-out-loud stuff as much as it's just kind of awkward funny and just kind of silly funny. And there's a lot of like, you know, it's today's kids. So, and Bo Burnham, you know, not being that young, but still being, you know, fairly kind of hip, he inserts a lot of things that feel very real. Technology is a big part of it, you know. The whole idea is that she wants to be a YouTube star. So she has a YouTube channel, and the movie constantly goes back to this. She goes to a YouTube channel, she makes these videos to increase people's confidence and tell people how to be themselves. And, you know, and she starts off the day by watching YouTube videos. I mean, it really kind of feels very real in this moment where she's watching makeup tutorials. She goes, lays in bed, takes pictures, like, I woke up like this. Her obsession with Snapchat and picking the right photo, and it's this really great moment where she's trying to give people advice and telling people to be themselves. That's how the movie opens. Yet she is herself trying to find out who herself is and like going against what she preaches, which we see all the time, right? People always give you advice. You're like, man, if you just followed your own advice, you'd be in a way better place, you know. And like, that's the situation here. I think the real great stuff about this movie is all the interactions between her and her dad. He's a single dad. They don't really talk about much about what happened to her mom. They do give you a line to kind of understand, but it's just really about, like, you know, the first scene in this movie that like really caught me is they're having dinner. She has her headphones in. She's on her phone and they have the music playing, you know, you can't really hear things and you hear her say her name. She pulls it out, she gets really irritated. You know, if anyone ever tried to talk to you with earphones in, you know, irritated you get that they're calling your name, you're like, what? And then she puts it back in. He's still trying to have this conversation. And just their, like, chemistry not clicking, and then her, of course, going to the popular girls' party and trying to fit in. It really just goes over all these things very well, and I think what works is the fact that it just feels so genuine. There is some really dark stuff in this movie. It takes a really dark turn towards the kind of the climax of the movie, and you kind of like, whoa, like that was a bit
Much.
pretty heavy. I don't want to say much, but I mean, once you're there, you know where you are, and you're just like, damn, like this is pretty heavy for what you were going into. Because in the beginning, you're laughing. You know, there's this reoccurring joke in the movie where there's always like the assemblies and stuff. They're about to leave 8th grade. And you keep hearing this kid, you never see him, but you just keep hearing the kid go, LeBron James. It's like, all the teachers are talking. And
Sure I would have,
you know, like just straight out of Vine, you know, and it's just so funny to kind of get a perspective of how people see 8th grade kids. And they also address the fact that, like, these are the kids who started with Snapchat in 5th grade. Like, that's
crazy.
They've only lived in a life where social media. Where we kind of lived on the balance where we got it towards our exiting awkward phases, right? And just kind of leaving those years behind, and these are the kids who've only been immersed in it.
Maybe I will watch this movie.
I think that, and for most general audiences, I think there's a lot of stuff that people will relate to. I think there's some really touching moments and just kind of like moments where everyone will be like, oh, I've been there. Like, I remember that feeling. I think there's also moments where you're like, damn, kids suck. You know, the way that she kind of talks to her dad sometimes, you're just like, man, little do you know, like, how, you know, like, yeah, just how, you know, but kids are kids. You know, every kid, every parent has gone through it. But I think there are the weird lull moments in between that I think you might kind of fall in and out of. But I would recommend it to you because it is so kind of close in your wheel. Like, literally, she posts how to be confident on YouTube and things like that, and it's an interesting watch.
I have a series on my channel, youtube.com/hsumjames.
Make sure to check out everything this guy's doing, just because if you want advice on life, this is the guy to go to. ShuMJames.com. But yeah, I mean, it's just really heartfelt. It's really well written. I mean, I think everything just felt very realistic and very honest. And there is, some, of course, Bo Burnham, knowing for being a little bit controversial. There's some dirty stuff in the movie that feels like just kind of, it's weird, you know, because of course, like, they're really young and they're talking about all these things, and it's like, oh man, this is just weird because they're kids and all that. But I mean, I think it really tackles that weird, awkward phase perfectly, because that's how it makes you feel the entire time you're watching it.
Love it. So check it out if
you're into that.
You're into that.
I'm sure Bo Burnham fans are going to go, and he has a big following, and it's good because it's a really small movie. He made it really cheap, and you know, it's his first time. It's going to get people to see a smaller release.
That's awesome. All right, we also did a review for Disney's Christopher Robin.
Yes, make sure to go check
Winnie
that
the
out.
Pooh and Ticket to Return, potentially.
Yes.
With Piglet and Eeyore, potentially.
Yeah, maybe they do, maybe they don't.
You don't know. It might be a horror film for all you know.
They did make a Christopher Robin movie with no Winnie the Pooh, so I mean, I guess nothing's impossible.
That's insane. Next week, though, we have
Don't you?
That's what
Don't you?
Sorry.
It's the return of a killer shark known as the Megalodon. Well, actually, I mean, is the Megalodon a type of shark, or is the Megalodon a separate species from the shark?
A type of shark, the biggest shark ever known in the history of mankind, history of all good loving universe.
And
during the time, in the prehistoric time.
Yeah, way back when.
Yeah.
And if you live in Vegas, you could visit the wonderful Natural History Museum. Always support your states and cities museums, of course. Always support. You could actually go stand in the jaws of a cast of what a Megalodon's jaws would be, and it's quite scary.
That's awesome.
Because he could swallow me whole. I couldn't even reach his teeth standing up.
It's crazy.
Granted, I'm not like tall like you, but
sure, still crazy.
Still
though.
Nuts. Yeah, I'm done. I'm a goner. That's why you don't go in the water.
Then I wish he was still alive.
Would you scuba dive?
Absolutely.
Really?
I went cage diving with sharks.
Oh, you're sick.
Loved it.
I watched this one video once upon a time, and this lady's like, when a chicken comes in my house, that chicken's gonna get eaten. Like, when the chicken comes in my domain, it's off limits.
Okay.
And she goes, when I go into a shark's domain, it's off limits.
Dang.
And that's never been the most realist thing I've ever heard. Yeah.
That's deep.
For sure.
I love it. Okay, so next week, if you want to go, comment below, let us know, or text us.
AMC Town Square at 10 o'clock. Private screening with all of our good friends.
Love it. ChasingCinema.com is known as
The Film Lovers website.